Jack Jill here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome to the Jack Jill Show. It's here that we provide entertaining real estate investment advice. I'm Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about the deals we're doing right now. You know, somebody recently said, you guys talk a lot. And that wasn't the end of the sentence.
Was it me?
But what we want to hear about the deals you're doing.
Oh.
We want to know, you know, okay, you'd say you're in the real estate business and all this. We want to hear about it.
Oh.
We want to hear some of the actual deals you're doing, trials and tribulations. What can I expect?
Oh, what are the good ones or the bad ones? That's probably a good thing. What are you choosing while you're not choosing them? Yeah, if you think that we blindly buy everything that comes back, that's not true.
Give us a few examples. What are they ranting about?
Exactly. That's good. I like it, Jack.
So I figured it'd be fun to do a simple show, and we'll get to it in a second here, where we just read down what's in our acquisition list and talk about whether we're going to do the deal, whether we won't do the deal.
I like that.
You know, this is really happening.
I like that. Where they came from, I'd like to know too, current mailer, old mailer. That's good information because I want everybody to know.
Right. And I'm sorry, I'll apologize in advance to my partner Jill here because this show is going to be about real estate.
Oh, stop it. It's all
It's not going to be about talking about marriage and stuff.
Okay.
This keeps us out of therapy, Jill.
Oh, thanks.
She gets to say whatever she wants on the show, and I get to have to laugh.
Exactly. It's kind of like you're have an unrelated third party in the room, and so you have to be nice.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah, recently we had some house guests here for almost 2 weeks. Well, it was like a week and a half, I guess.
A week.
And everybody got along great.
It was 5 days. Let's be honest. It was 5 days, but to you it felt like a month.
No, we've known these people for a long time. We've traveled with them and stuff. Our kids are the same age. We had a blast.
Awesome. It's so much fun.
There's no arguing with someone else's.
You know, it's so nice. Great. What I got to tell you too, it was like it forced us to disconnect. You know, because it was over a holiday too, so it was easy to kind of not think about work because there's not much going on.
That was so nice.
Oh, it's so nice. At least for
us,
nothing that we had to do. Our staff had to do stuff, but we didn't.
Hey, before we can get into the real topic here, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the jackjill.com online community. It's free.
Okay. Daryl B says, this is good. So Daryl writes a question, and then we have a response here too. So this is perfect. Hi everyone. If you're posting properties for sale in Facebook groups, are you doing this with your personal profile, or are you creating a new /alias profile specifically for your sales postings, or are you doing something totally different on Facebook? Also, is anyone having good success with Facebook selling like this, or have you found it to be a waste of time? Michael A. chimed in and wrote, this is the beauty of this community, by the way, I created a page for my company /website, then I post using that page handle. At first, I wasn't getting much action with Facebook, but recently I've gotten a ton of activity, and I just sold one from Facebook. Facebook sales are growing. I can clearly see it taking over Craigslist. Thank you.
That's great advice, and I have a few things to say on this. So it used to be that you would post a property for sale in a place like the classified ads in the newspaper, and you would get responses, right? Or you would post one ad just one time, and people, very direct audience, are looking for property in that area. They get the Sunday paper and they read it, and bang, you're probably going to sell a property. Maybe you have to do it the next week, but probably not. The world has completely changed. Completely. You can't expect, and I know this from experience, I'm really talking to myself here. You can't expect.
Personal therapy session.
We are on show number 607 or something, 608.
Can I take a moment and just share something? Just kidding. Go ahead.
We are on show number, I think, 608. 608. And I expected our first show to be a smash hit. And 6 people listened to it.
It was more than 6?
The very first show was 6.
Oh. Well, maybe the first time, but...
Yeah. Episode 0001.
Okay.
6 people.
Well, no, but now there's more downloads because people have gone back.
Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Thank you.
Just trust me, when we released that first episode, I thought everyone was going to say, this is the greatest show ever.
Oh, okay.
My point is, it takes a long time to build up a group where they keep coming back for more.
Oh, that's where you're going with this.
You can't just post something on Facebook or anywhere else for that matter in this day and age.
Expect it overnight.
And sell it. That's just not, because you need some credibility. And they need to know, they need to keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back. The more properties you have for sale, on your website or on Landpin as a seller,
yeah.
the better you're going to do.
That's what I was going to say too. Landpin, our selling site, landpin.com, that the traction that is getting and the attention and the downloads now is like, wow.
So the conventional wisdom, and it's correct, about social media is that you have to start and then build and build and build and consistently write a blog, consistently have a podcast, consistently post properties for sale, if that's what your goal is. Mm-hmm. And you will build up an audience, a natural, organic audience that really likes to buy property and will keep coming back. Mm-hmm. But just to expect a one-off scenario is really difficult. Well, great, Jack. What do I do when I'm just starting?
I like it when you do this. When you role play with yourself.
That's brilliant, Jack. So, thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was waiting for.
That's helpful for people who've been in the business for 20 years
Great.
like you have.
Easy
but what
for
do
you
I do?
to say.
I got to sell some property
Jeez.
today. What the heck am I going to do?
I'm brand new. My website just, oh my gosh, it's barely done. Yeah.
So what would you do,
It's a
Jill?
photo of my dog. I didn't even have a good photo of me. Great, Jack.
What would you do?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. I just wanted to pick on you. I didn't want to really.
Oh, you don't want to solve it?
No, I didn't want to be involved at all. I just was just picking on you, just throwing a wrench in there. So, keep going.
What I would do if I were just had one property to sell, and I just looked at our acquisition list, and we have a few more than one, and I was just starting out, I would, number one, make sure I have at least a one-page website to drive traffic back to, where there's information on the property, information about me, maybe a picture with me and my dog or me and my wife, and I would have my phone number on there. I would encourage that person or whoever got back to that page, whether it's through Facebook or whatever you do, to call me and we'll talk about it, and I would sell them the property. And I would do that for the first 10 properties, some version of that. I've had members come to me and say, we've never had a website, and we do just great. And I say, why? And they say, well, I put my cell phone in every ad, and I answer it. Yeah. So if you're just starting out, that's really the way to do this.
Mm-hmm. You need a presence. You have to build a presence. And it's not hard. It doesn't take that long.
And here's the good news. Exactly what Jill said. Consistently start posting. Use a tool like Hootsuite, which is an auto poster. It's an auto-posting social media mechanism so that every day at the same time, just like we do with the podcast, every day at the same time, some version of whatever you're communicating gets released. And make sure you actually have something, unlike us, you actually have something to say.
Oh my goodness. What happened?
So seriously, you're the salesperson, Jill, I mean, in all this. What if you're just starting out, you had one property, what would you do?
Well, I would still create a website. I would have a website, and I would have a contact me page, a little bit about me page, the properties I'm buying, and I would have a sales page, and even show what it looks like there's only one property. I would still have it there. It's my presence. And you could have other boxes for coming soon, whatever. You could kind of wing it and make it look like there's, acquisitions underway. I don't think that's crazy.
Or you could say, wow, this is my first deal, and that's why you're getting such a good deal, buyer. That, this is my first deal, although I'm a part of a group of land investors that have done tons and tons of deals, glom off of us. Mm-hmm.
I would link them all together. That's the thing too, like you're just saying, link it all together to us. And once they start researching you and you pop up in more than one place, that's credibility.
Yeah.
You're on this online community. You have a property. Your property's in Landpin. Your property's on your own website. Your property's also on social media. Okay, you're checking my boxes now. I'm feeling good about you.
I'm checking your boxes?
Yes, you are checking my boxes.
I don't want to have to go back and edit and bleep anything in this.
Wow.
I will say this about Facebook specifically. If you are not new to Facebook and you've got a bunch of friends that you went to school with and stuff, that's not the place to post a property.
I like what Michael did. Make a page. Make a business. So how you have your personal and your professional, your personal profile basically. It's really easy on there to go make a page that's linked to that, and then give it your business name, and then post all your properties there. And then you can still do it separately. So when you're sharing your properties, it goes on your page, not your profile. And then when you're putting your pictures up with the family at Thanksgiving, it goes on your profile, not your page.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. I don't know. It depends. If you're having Thanksgiving, you're out looking at land, and you have a picture of your family standing on some of the land you just bought, that would go both places.
Right.
Thank you. That's the first time you've agreed with me like that. I never had anything else to say other than right. Wow. I'm so glad we're recording this.
There's a ton of Facebook groups, by the way, that are dedicated, and they attract people in droves who want to purchase land, who are in this business. Or if you're doing houses, the same thing. So make sure that you join all those groups. And it's going to take a while to get some momentum, but eventually, and it's not going to take half as long as it took us, because you have social media on your side. You're going to have people banging your door down to buy the property that you have. So I know it's frustrating right in the beginning, but it's well worth it.
Yep.
Today's topic, deals we are doing right now. This is the meat of the show. Like I said earlier, people are asking me, well, so that's great, all this stuff you're talking about, all this advice. What do you do? What properties are you really buying? So we're going to stick to land. We're not going to talk about houses today. Mostly because Jill's completely out of the house loop. It's like really my department right now. So we buy and sold wholesale houses in Arizona and Southern California, but this is just about land today. So I'm looking at our database, Jill, and I hope you have it open too. Mm-hmm. We've got a property here at the top that is Elko, Nevada, from an old mailer. 10 acres. Mm-hmm. And they're just ready. It says here, a letter from 2007. They're asking $1,000, which is what I think we offered them back then. And quote unquote, they just want to get rid of it. Taxes are all paid up. Mm-hmm. That's a deal we will do quickly. Probably tell them $100. What do you think? Your people are going to do this deal. So what would you call back and offer them?
How big is it again? I'm sorry. Oh, asking $1,000. I see it. I see it. 1,000 and two. You know what? Like 500.
Yeah, I think 500 is good.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Plus fees, and then for 10-acre property, there we'll wholesale it out for probably $2,000 to $3,000, $2,500, really quickly.
Exactly.
40 acres in Apache, Arizona. The ones at the top. Mm-hmm. They submitted an online form to our acquisition site. Yep. They're asking $6,000. They inherited it. They're not in any hurry to sell. Mm-hmm. They've owned it for 14 years, and I'm not in any hurry to buy it at that price.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm looking at this. I'm sorry. I'm all into the spreadsheet. I'm sorry. I'm reading the note. These are good notes. It's near St. John's. I'm with you. I'm gonna hang out. So this is the point.
What
of
would
this.
You pay for that price?
Well, here's the whole point. We're not gonna do it. If it's not a good price, don't do it.
It's not a slam dunk.
No, yeah. If you're not feeling it, and you certainly don't want to buy something and be stuck with it because you're worried that you overpaid. Don't do it at all, especially when you're new. So, what would I pay for this one? Okay, asking $6,000, 40 acres. The only note I have here though is is there an access issue? I don't know.
We don't know.
So you know what? I have to look it up.
And that's what we do. So I'll plug. We have people that'll plug these into Parcel Fact, and then grade them based on access and attributes and whatever it's close to. If it's close to something, and we'll make a decision. It might very well be worth $6,000. It might be right in the middle of town.
I might. For that size, it could be awesome.
In general,
I don't know.
Not really.
Exactly.
Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-acre properties in Navajo, Arizona. The customer's mom received it. Mother received the letter in 2006. Yep. And now she just wants to sell.
Love it.
Taxes have not been paid, which is a real good sign. Mm-hmm. She just wants to get the money, some type of money out of the property, and that's it. That's a deal that
those are easy.
We would do. I love multi-APN transactions. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 assessor parcel numbers, 5 acres each. Those we will make 4 or 5 times more money on that deal than if it was just 20-acre property.
Did you say that's a letter from 2006, by the way?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, next line. 2 Kern County, California properties, 0.17 acres each. So the fact that these are so small to me indicate that they're probably in an urban area, because properties doesn't get subdivided down to those small acreage usually. So that's something that sparks my interest immediately. And Jill says if clearly somebody is telling Jill in our acquisition from her staff that the taxes have been researched and there's about $100 back taxes on it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're real motivated there. Next line, Santa Cruz, Arizona. I love Santa Cruz, Arizona. The terrain is not typical. It's got trees and things like that. There's 2 APNs, not sure the size. And it's an estate situation, so that's
Right.
That's good. Go ahead and take the next one, Joe.
Yavapai. I love this one. This is a letter back from
Yavapai County, Arizona.
Yeah. What was that? They wrote us back. This is so sweet. So there was an old letter from, gosh, I remember that was probably in 06, 07, but they wrote us a physical letter. They're asking $40,000 for 46.878 acres. I love it.
So
That might
Yavapai
be.
County,
It's a tough one. I have to look it up, but yeah.
Yavapai is tall pine trees right out of a west. When you think of pine trees in the high desert, that's Yavapai County, right out of the Western movie.
Right. And it might be worth it. I have to look it up.
$1,000 an acre in Yavapai for a 47 acre property is probably a smoking deal.
Mm-hmm.
I personally love. Jill and I had a cabin in Yavapai County for a lot of years.
Exactly.
Next, well, that's great, Jack. Show us a deal you wouldn't do.
Well, the next one is one we wouldn't do. It's
That's
too
exactly
small
right.
anymore.
That's right.
And and I get a lot of these all the time. Back in the day we were doing different times we were doing different acquisitions. That's the point. And this was one that's just now too small for us. It's just not worth my time. This was one where the original asking price was $125, and then it's $100. It's a letter he called in from 2008, and it's in Cochise County, Arizona. It's less than an acre, just under an acre, and it's just, and then of course he says the assessed is $500, but we all know that doesn't necessarily mean anything. He'd take $100, but gosh, it's just, again, it's not worth my time right now.
I agree.
So
I mean, we might sell it for $1,000, but
even that,
it takes the same amount of time
Yep.
to close this transaction as it does the 47 acre property we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll make, conceivably make close to $100,000 on that.
Right.
So do I want to make $900 or $100,000?
Right. What am I going to spend my time on?
Right.
That's the point. Now, if my budget was just this, so this is the whole point here too.
This is speaking
If
from
I'm
experience.
new, starting out, and I'm just getting my feet wet here.
This is a perfect
I'm
first
happy to
deal,
buy a
right?
bunch of little $100 properties and just double them, and now I have a couple $1,000s more, and then a couple $1,000s more, and then I'm like, okay, now I got this. Now I'm gonna start doing some bigger ones, whatever it is. So love it.
Here's a Mojave 2.35 acre property, Mojave County, Arizona, which is close to Las Vegas. And I know from the acreage side which subdivision it's in, and we will buy this.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably 25 miles south.
Well, you know
east
what?
of Las Vegas.
I love the notes because our team put in here too. Like when they talked to him, they put in here again. Just wants to get rid of it.
Quote unquote. Taxes are current. It's in the husband
As
of
power
the
of
deceased
attorney?
wife have power of attorney, and it's apparently in a trust. So this is a perfect deal for us.
Yep, totally.
This is a great terms transaction because we'll buy it for nothing and sell it for $200 a month for 5 years.
Exactly. These are good too.
San Bernardino, California,
I
2
love
properties,
these.
1.88 and 10 acres. Just wants to sell it. Taxes are current.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a slam dunk.
yeah.
We'll make $10,000 to $15,000 on that. Kern County, California again.
Mm-hmm.
Mother passed on, and they're writing about a letter
That's
that we
so
sent.
nice.
Doesn't say which year.
Yep.
So we could go on, forever like this. Let's see if there's
I
something
know.
really interesting in here. 40 acres. Polk County, Florida. Here's a good one. Asking $500. Sellers located in New Mexico.
Here's Modoc County, California.
Owned since 1977.
Oh, check this out. Modoc County, California. I don't know if you see that one. It's they've owned it 26 years, and they want to sell it in the next 6 months. No back taxes. There's the HOA information. I mean, they're all current.
Wow, the owner lives right
love it.
around the corner from us.
I noticed that.
We should pursue that.
Here's another one. Owned
vigorously today.
30 years, no back HOA or another taxes. Asking price is $500 for a half acre here in Luna, New Mexico. Alamosa, Colorado, 40 acres.
No loans, no back taxes, owned for 40 years. Asking $5,000, done.
Wow. That's a view of the mountains. Oh my gosh, this is awesome.
We have, I'm looking here, 700 lines of properties, acquisition opportunities in here from sending letters over the years that need to be processed and reviewed. And it's, we process and review 5 to 10 of them a day, probably. Mm-hmm. They just keep moving up.
Exactly.
Frederick, Virginia. Owned for 14 years, needs to sell it ASAP, no back taxes. I've never had any issues with any of the northeastern states like that, with very few exceptions.
Mm-hmm. Taos, New Mexico. Wow. Husband passed. Taxes are current. I don't have a price in here. This is awesome.
There's 2 5-acre properties in Maricopa County, Arizona. A little bit further down the list, 5 acres each. Maricopa County is the same county that Phoenix is in.
Mm-hmm.
So it really brings a higher sale price. Yavapai again, Bridge Canyon Estates, which is a fantastic subdivision up there.
You know what about those 2 5 acres too, by the way? This is a good one. This is a perfect acquisition. It's the same person. They own the 2 5-acre parcels and they're next to each other. Is the husband and wife's names, and both are available to sign. This is the stuff you want. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure everybody's alive and well, and you want make sure it's easy to complete the transaction, and you want it and the price.
Yep. Then it's easy to get the deal done, especially now with Title Mind, because all you got to do is call Title Mind, which is one of our companies, and they'll just close the deal for you.
Well, let me back up here. One of the beauties about Title Mind is we will do escrow only. Good luck trying. If you want to try to do an escrow only deal because you don't want to need title insurance, you don't want to spend a couple $1,000s closing this deal. You want to spend hundreds, not thousands, because you're buying it for $3,000, kind of thing. That's where we come in, and we have been hitting our heads against the wall trying to find a company that would do that, and nobody would do it, and so we made it.
We created one. Well, it's our people
company
who have been trained to do our deals for years. Now they're going to do yours.
Exactly. So
we had so much success with it, we had to turn it off after the first 3 days.
Exactly. It's open now, so check out TitleMind.com. It's really cool. Love it.
So we could just go down this list. There's
I could be here all day. This is kind of fun.
I love this project.
I know.
Almost 700 lines of. Now that I'm looking at it, almost 700 lines of property acquisition opportunities in here. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. So where do you want? What do we want? What's the point? Are we just sharing what we have?
Well, like I said, a couple people individually asked us, what kind of deals are you guys working on? Give us an example.
Yeah.
Jill and I had a podcast more than 2 years ago that this was the whole podcast. It was our original show where it was hours long.
Right.
And we would review each deal and talk about it. And
I didn't want to pick on you. I want to make sure that we covered whatever you wanted to cover.
Yeah.
So.
And, we don't want to go through the trials and tribulations of doing every transaction. It's not that big of a deal. And it's quite frankly not very entertaining. But it is very, very profitable. And,
it's true.
It's real.
Exactly.
We're not just talking about it.
Mm-mm.
Thank you for asking. That accomplished what I wanted to accomplish.
Good. I'm glad. There's so much out there. This is the whole point I think to make too. You think that, how do I say this? You think there's a lot of us reaching out to people, but there's not, number one. And number two is these people didn't want to sell when we sent them their letter back in 2000 and whatever, but they do now.
That's right, Joe.
And here they are. So, and by sending them a really good, well thought out, valuable letter. Do you think these people hung on to a postcard? No. No way. That it's not like there's a postcard still in the fridge that says, we buy your property. No,
you think these people got a letter since we've sent it to them?
They may or they may not. I don't know.
I believe that they have. But they kept ours.
Exactly.
And they kept it because it's really specific.
Right.
We will buy your property for X and we'll close it soon.
And here we are, and here's who we are. And guess what? We're still here. That's one of the things too. When I used to answer the phone with these, they would go, oh, wow, is this XYZ? Yeah, this is us. They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't think you may answer the phone. You sent my dad a letter 6 years ago about this property. I'm like, great, bring it. It's awesome.
Well, you've done it again. You've wasted another 25 minutes. 25 minutes listening to the Jack and Jill Show.
25 minutes that you can't get back.
Join us tomorrow where we discuss how we live by days on market, DOM.
And we answer your question, should you have one, posted on checkjill.com, our online community.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Okay, that may be boring for some, but I love that stuff.
When you say I go off into my own area and do a mailer and stuff, I mean, I'm out working on acquisitions constantly. Mm-hmm. We're in a situation now. Maybe it's because of the show too. I don't know, that we just there's so much acquisition opportunity out there. It's hilarious.
True.
And sometimes I don't think we do a good job of conveying like how successful this really is. Maybe it's because I don't like bragging.
It's true.
But man,
you're right. I'm much more eager and I more often share other people's stories than our own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is. Because sometimes too, I want people to know that really, it's not. It can happen because I'm not telling you my story. I'm telling you somebody else's story.
I think there's more credibility in having a member story, just like you said, versus telling our story.
Well, based on what you just said, can I share a member story real quick here?
Heck yes.
So along these lines, bragging about this stuff, but it's not ours. So I had a member reach out to me back on November 8th, and they were panicking, worrying, saying, oh my gosh, I bought 3 properties. I posted them everywhere. I think my prices are the lowest in this county. Can I say the county?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Lassen County. And they were worried, and I said, I said, hey, don't worry about it. Let's talk about it on the member call. I'm sure you're doing everything right, but let's all review it. Just make sure that your photos are good and everything's good. And it may just be time, like we talked about the Facebook person building momentum. So anyway, they said, thanks. Okay, that's great. And then on November 22nd, they wrote me back and they said, you know what? Couldn't make the call, but I wanted to let you know that since we reached out and there were no sales 2 weeks ago and my flags are flying high, I sold 3 in a row. Who knew it would happen? Ha. Many thanks to you and Jack. I bought the 3 parcels for $11,000 and I sold them for $24,500. They were cash wire deals. Getting close to being able to make different decisions for my family. See, it's really easy for me to brag about this person, and then it is for me, and I love it. Hope you guys don't mind future updates. May you guys have a great Thanksgiving, all that good stuff. It was so good. And then he wrote, oh boy, I sold it. And this was like 2 days later, wrote back and said, this was the day after Thanksgiving. I sold another one. I'm on turkey fire. Tell Jack my dreams of being looked up to as a successful drug dealer are coming true.
Oh my God.
Isn't that awesome?
Drug dealer.
No, it was just kind of funny because, your episode from way back when, but because we joke about that we look like you want to say it?
Yeah, I mean, when I started doing this show, the very first episode 0, when you start a podcast, apparently it's important to have an episode 0 because everybody goes back to it. It's called All My Friends Think I'm a Drug Dealer. And it's because when I left a very lucrative investment banking job in Arizona a lot of years ago, and I worked from my house. I had an extremely expensive car back then because I was a kid. And, I appeared to not have a job. I appeared to be like, and so my friends did a half intervention. Some of my buddies are like, geez.
What's going
on with you?
You're not working.
You're happy all the time.
Yeah. You stay up. You're partying like a rock star.
Yeah, that. This is long before I met Jill. And the
partying like a rock star still has not gone away.
I haven't grown out of that.
No.
But anyway, so that's what I think this member is referring to.
Yeah. That was really good. So anyway, it is easy to, I love that. That was a good show. Thank you. And it's easier. It's hard for us. I'm glad you did. We share some of our deals. It's fun to share. It's easier to share other people's deals. I'm so proud.
Plus, I got a little bit of work done just now.
Yes, you did.
Like real work.
Huh. Hey, if you like that, share the fun by subscribing on iTunes or wherever you're listening. And while you're at it, please rate us there.
We are Jack and Jill, information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.